Hello, my name is Sunil and I am your instructor for the duration of this video. In part 1 of this video, we have seen how to configure VirtualBox for Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 5. In this video, we will see how to install RHEL5 on VirtualBox. To install RHEL5, we will select virtual machine named first vMachine, which we have created in part 1, and will click start, which will start our virtual machine. So now this is the first installation screen of RHEL. There are many options that can be used at this boot prompt, but as they are not in the scope of this video, we will not discuss them over here. We will simply press enter. But before that, to enter into this virtual machine, click anywhere inside this machine, and my control is now inside this virtual machine. To release your mouse, press right control button once and your mouse is released. So now we will press enter so that our installation begins. Before installation begins, the installer provides you the facility to scan your media for error. You can press OK and continue your media scan as per the instructions displayed on the screen. So now we don't want to scan our media, so we will select skip and press enter. This is the welcome screen for RHEL, so you can press next button over here. In this screen, you are asked to select the language which will be used during installation process. I will not change the default language, which is English, and will press next button. In this screen, you are asked to select the keyboard layout for your system. Again, I will not change the default, that is your US English, and will press next button. In this screen, the installer asks you for the installation number. If you have the installation number, enter the number. If not, select skip and press OK. Installer again gives you the option to enter the installation number. You can click back and you can enter the installation number. If not, you can click this skip button and this will skip that process. So now if you are using new hard disk and the hard disk is not having a valid partition, that is hard disk is not partitioned, the installer will warn you that the partition table on the device is unreadable. Press yes to confirm that you want to initialize your hard disk. In this screen, the installer wants to know how you want to proceed for partition layout. There are 4 options over here. The first one, remove all partitions on selected drives and create a default layout. This means all the partitions on this SDA will be removed and the default layout will be created. The second option, remove Linux partition on selected drive and create default layout. If you have previous Linux installation on the system, those Linux partitions will be removed and the default layout will be created. Use free space on selected drives and create default layout. This means if there is any free space, unallocated space available, that space will be used and the default layout will be created. Create custom layout. With this option you can create your own layout as per your requirement. I will select create custom layout and will press next button. Here I can create my own required layout. I will click new. First I am going to create boot partition of 100 MB. Then I will create a root partition of 10 GB. I would like to create home partition of 5 GB, and I would also like to create a swap partition that will be twice that of my RAM. My RAM is 512 MB, so the swap size will be 1024 MB, that is 1 GB. I have created my required partitions, and now I will press next button. I will discuss this screen in other part of this video series, so I will simply press next button. In this screen I can configure IP address for my Linux box. By default it is being configured to obtain IP address from DHCP. I will click edit, manual configuration. I will give the IP address. IP version 6 support is enabled. If you want to disable, you can unselect this one, press OK. Host name, you can provide the host name. By default the host name for your system is localhost.local domain. I will give ns1.example.com, the gateway. This is the IP address of my DSL router that will act as a gateway between the internet and my system. The primary DNS server, the DNS IP is, I will have to give the DNS IP which will be used to resolve the name against the IP addresses 4.2.2.2. I am using the global DNS IPs.